What up, dangly dicks? We're back.
Yep, we're back. We're still trying to think of movies that were adapted from video games that...
How's your dick dangling, Ives?
It's still there.
Does it dangle?
Sort of.
Oh. Hasn't gone like inverted on you, like when you go into like swimming in cold water?
No.
I fucking hate it when that happens.
I've actually, and this has only happened to me once, but...
Did your dick fall off?
No, I've had my dick turn blue from being like swimming in really, really cold water.
Like really cold water?
And it wasn't like...
Did you get hypothermia of the dick?
Probably.
It's no good.
I was concerned at the time, but I think it's fine.
What's the worst dick? Is that the worst dick injury you've ever sustained?
No, I've been
dick and balls injury.
I've been hit in the dick and balls by a hockey puck before.
Oh, that's awful. That shit's dense.
Yeah, I knocked the wind out of me. I almost fucking died. I was just like, oh. But
that sucks. You came up with that answer really quick. I have to think about it.
I mean, I've had other, hits to that area, but...
I mean, just growing up being a boy, you take some damage.
Yeah.
It's just a naturally occurring thing that happens.
That's what happens when your delicate parts are outside your body.
Yeah, and dangle.
Yeah.
It's just an accident. It literally is an accident waiting to happen. A hockey puck to the junk.
Yep.
How did that happen?
It was in school. We were playing like indoor hockey at gym or something.
With a real rubber puck? Like indoor hockey, you play with like a soft little plastic ball, right? Excuse me.
Yes, but this
Dr.
time
Pepper.
it was like some weird modified thing. And I think it was the first time I actually even tried playing any sort of like hockey. And
wow. If that doesn't make you never want to play it again.
There were kids who were like actually on a extracurricular
Were you like
league.
a teenager at the time? How old were you?
Yeah, this was in middle school, so I was probably like 12, 13. When we finally started like realizing what those parts could do.
Yeah.
And
your powers were beginning to awaken.
Yeah. And kids at that age were all about slap shotting the fucking puck constantly. So like I took one really...
I mean, this is also like heavy Mighty Ducks time too.
Yeah.
Knuckle puck it. It's knuckle puck time. Hey! Dicks!
That's a movie series that went on for way too long.
Yeah.
Like, the first one was good, the second was like, and then the third one was like, nope, this just needs to end now.
I don't remember really any of them. Just that there was kids playing hockey. And Emilio Estevez.
Yes. So back to the original topic of...
Oh, you don't want to talk about dick injuries anymore?
Well, we're trying to rack our brains for more movies that were based off of video games. We came up with Doom, Mario, Final Fantasy, Resident Evil, Sonic,
Wing Commander.
What the hell else was there? Oh, there was a bunch of like...
what's my thinking sound?
Yule Bowl, or like made like a Blood Rain, or a...
Of the Dead?
Something like that.
Like typing of the Dead?
I've never watched any of them because I think they're all campy and ridiculous and like barely watchable or very cringy stuff. That's movies.
Kind of the point of like his series of movies is that like they're just bad on purpose.
Yeah,
I guess is the way of putting it. I don't know if he believes that, but that's what he makes.
They're like The Room bad.
Yeah, to some degree.
There's been a lot more pop culture references to that now that it's become like a thing.
That's the movie that's like gained popularity just on how ridiculous the whole, not just the movie but the story behind the movie has made it more popular.
I wonder if that's helped the actual like actors and like film crew that was involved with that had nothing to do with how bad it was.
It must have. How could it not have?
I don't know. I mean, you build a reputation in that industry, who knows?
People are talking about it. That's a good sign.
I'm trying to remember where the freaking dash ability is. Oh crap, okay.
What's that?
This is where I came through before I moved those blocks in the way of the lasers.
Ew, you came here?
Yeah, I came all over this place. That's why
gross.
there's purple monsters crawling around on the ground. I was actually, when I was in my early 20s, a friend of mine from high school used to tell a story about, he was going to college in the city. I don't remember if it was like NYU or where.
No.
But he used to take the subway constantly. And he liked to tell the story about one day he was on the subway and a bunch of, like, group of small children approached him.
Oh, this is not going anywhere good.
And we're, like, giving him, like, attitude and, like, asking him all sorts of questions. And he was just, like, I don't know if he was really high at the time or just, like, caught off guard. But he didn't know how to react. But the way he told the story is, like, so I was on the subway, and this group of little kids came up on me. And they were speaking all sorts of shit.
Yeah.
Except that on this one particular occasion when he was retelling the story, he forgot to say the word up in that sentence.
So the kids were coming on him? That's an easy mistake to make.
Except that when you're telling it to a new audience who has no concept or, like, context for what the story's about.
Oh, these kids, they're just coming on me. In the subway. I was just trying to go to school, taking the subway to school, and these kids were just coming on me.
Exactly.
Ugh.
Made for a lot of...
Don't you hate it when just kids just come on you? I went to the park the other day, and I was like, you know, the ice cream man's here. This is awesome. I'm going to get some ice cream from the ice cream man. And all these kids were coming on me. I just wanted to get some nice ice cream.
Have you seen ice cream trucks since the pandemic started?
Yeah, actually, yeah. I was like, wow, that's dumb.
I know.
Gotta make a living, I guess.
I guess.
But yeah, you know what? There are people still going to it. You know, like Americans are the most hard-headed group of people that you can think of. That was just like, oh, it's raining diarrhea and puke outside. Well, I still got to go to the library and get things done. You know?
Guess I'll go skinny dipping in my pool that's totally exposed to the elements.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a weird year in all sorts of ways. It's been a weird and very saturated year for, like, a lot of shit that, you know...
I blame the iPhones.
A lot of shit that I don't think a lot of people anticipated or thought they would see in their lifetime has happened, and it's happened in a relatively short span of time, but because of the fact that we've been quarantining and isolating and doing things out of the ordinary, it feels way longer than it is.
Have you injured your dick since the quarantine happened? Or since the pandemic really hit the United States?
I don't think I have. I'm there.
I like jizzed way too hard one day.
Really?
And like lefty got all numb and sore.
Jesus.
I think I have to see a dick doctor. What are they called?
A urologist?
Yeah, that's the one. Do you ever just jizz so hard like one of your balls hurts?
No.
No?
I mean, unless I was doing some S&M type of shit to my balls to begin with.
I mean, well, I don't want to get too into it, but I may have gotten too into it already.
Alright, so I think I need to go up here.
I'm trying to change the subject, Ives.
Actually, no, I need to go over here, don't I?
I don't know.
I'm so confused now.
Dude, I'm not paying attention.
We've been talking about all sorts of shenanigans, and...
Can we reverse the subject on the movies and talk about movies that were turned into terrible games, of which I think that list is way longer?
Okay.
How about the B movie? You ever play that game?
I have not played that game.
Yeah, because nobody fucking should. That's why.
I'm trying to think of what game... Oh, so... I mean, I guess it's based on a movie because it's based on the original George Lucas IP, but...
The original George Lucas?
Force Commander. Star Wars Force Commander, which came out in 99, I want to say.
Force Commander.
It was a real-time strategy game based in the Star Wars universe.
It was an RTS?
Yes, and it was god-awful. It was so bad that I thankfully, I ripped a copy of it from Babbage's when that was still a
wow.
thing. And
you kind of dated yourself there.
Yeah. And it was so bad that even though I had a copy for free, I still didn't want to play. play it.
Yeah.
So,
I really don't know a lot of the early Star Wars games outside of like Rebel Assault and TIE Fighter.
Mm-hmm.
And
Rebel Assault was a pretty good one, but it was one of those like early game concepts where they had a mixture of, I guess it's like still images or like motion capture of real actors superimposed on the video game world.
They had that like early Mortal Kombat kind of look of like the animations where it like looks like they mo-capped people, but they didn't.
Right.
They looked like they screen capped people.
Yes. Exactly.
Actually, I found my old discs. My mom had dropped off a box from, I guess, the basement at the house that I just forgot existed at some point. So she found this box of my old computer shit. And there was an old PC terminal that I'd left there from when I was a kid. Like maybe my second or third PC that I built. And like I have no idea what's on this. I don't even recognize the terminal, but it was clearly mine.
Yeah.
But it had all these CD-ROMs in there of like old games and demo discs and things like that from like PC Magazine or PC Gamer Magazine or whatever it was at the time.
Okay.
And so I tried to boot it up and it didn't work because it's just an old. It was abandoned and forgotten for a reason. There's something wrong with it and it just doesn't work. So I open it up and I'm like, of course it's just everything's just caked in like dust.
Yeah.
And time.
You're caked in time.
So I have an air compressor at home, so I blew all the dust out and everything, and it doesn't look like anything's like physically broken.
Right.
But I have all the cables I have the power cables. I have a VGA cable to hook it up to one of the modern monitors that I have. So I have a VGA to DisplayPort adapter. And you brought it up at one point, the PS2 connectors. I have an old PS2 and PS2 mouse and keyboard, so I connected those up. So I have everything that would get this machine up and running and like workable.
Right.
Or like at least problem solvable.
Okay.
It had 1 gig of RAM.
Wow.
Spread between 2 sticks. And it had a 250 gigabyte hard drive. Which, I mean, for back then, that's pretty big.
Wait, are you talking gigs or megs? Because back then...
No, I'm talking gigs. This is probably a machine that I had in middle school. So like we're talking.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Megs was before gigs. Gigs is a much larger unit of.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct. So it had. Oh, it wasn't like the OS. It had a 30 gigabyte drive for like the OS and programs. It had storage.
Okay.
Of 250 gigs. So I upgraded this at some point. Probably like right before it died, or it didn't work anymore. So it had 2 hard drives. One was clearly the OS drive, which was just 30 gigs, and it had an expandable storage drive. And these are old IDE drives.
Mm-hmm.
And it had an old diskette drive as well.
Okay.
I didn't have any diskettes, but who the fuck knows? I probably just threw those out at some point, and I don't even know what they would have been anyway.
Mm.
So I got it to post. I got it to BIOS. No OS. So like, all right, fine. I didn't really expect anything to happen with this at all.
Right.
So I took the hard drives out, and I have an IDE to USB adapter, and I have a power cable adapter, and I plugged the drives into my current PC, and the drives worked.
Wow.
I was shocked.
Would they format or read or anything, or just kind of like detected and that's it?
They wouldn't work in the PC for whatever reason. Maybe the motherboard was shot. Maybe the CPU on the old tower was just dead. Mm-hmm. I didn't really go too much into trying to figure out what was wrong with the old PC, the old terminal. I just wanted to know what information was on the hard drives.
Right.
And they worked flawlessly. Like Windows picked them up. I didn't have to worry about administrator rules or anything like that. All the data tables were there. And I was like, I found all my Winamp MP3s and my Winamp playlists from like, I don't know, 96.
Wow.
95, 96. And there were a couple of like old photos in there that I have already backed up, so it wasn't anything I didn't already have. It was just amazing to see like the old programs that were on there.
Right.
Like Winamp. My all my old AIM files were on there.
Wow.
Like chat logs from days gone past were still on there.
That's funny. What did your mom do with your room after you moved out of your house?
She turned it into her bedroom.
Really?
Yeah. Or rather, I guess my bedroom that you would remember would be the basement.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, because when we refinished the basement in that old house, that the basement became my room because my house growing up, my parents' house to that they live in this day, my mom and my stepdad, is exceptionally tiny.
When did you guys?
It's essentially a 1-bedroom house, 1 bedroom, 1 bath, with a living room and a kitchen that functions as the same thing.
Okay.
And it has a basement and an attic for storage. So it's a really, really small house. I couldn't tell you what the square footage is because I don't do math.
Mm-hmm. What year did you guys move in? I
must have been 2 or 3 at the time. That was always the house to me.
Gotcha.
I didn't have any other home growing up. So growing up, I slept in the living room. That was my bedroom when I was a little kid. And my mom and my dad, before they got divorced, had a separate the single bedroom was their bedroom.
Okay.
And when I became, like just before I became a teenager, probably when I was like 10 or 11,
mm-hmm.
like we had scraped together enough money like to refinish the basement of the house and turned it into another bedroom. So my stepdad at the time and myself like refinished the basement, turned it into my bedroom, and I moved down there from living in the living room. And my mom and my stepdad turned what was their bedroom and my living room, they combined it into one big bedroom, so they had a nice larger area to live.
Okay.
So the bedroom that you remember from when we used to hang out at my parents' house when we were like kids just became my mom's bedroom. So my stepdad has his bedroom upstairs, and my mom has her bedroom downstairs.
Okay.
And they lived miserably ever after, basically.
Yeah, my mom turned my old bedroom into an apartment that she rents out, so it still exists.
I'm still to this day surprised she didn't just rent out the whole house.
It probably would have been more beneficial, but I feel like she likes to have her own space even if she's not there all the time.
Yeah.
Just because it's like a comfort thing for her
to have like her own space when she comes back to. Well, she lives in Spain,
right,
for the most part right now,
and now she's stuck there.
And now she's stuck there, yeah. But like your mom likes to, I think she prefers living in Spain, but she also just likes to have the idea of having a house here that she can also live in.
Yeah. All right. So this is probably the most pain in the ass part of this game, because it slows down the pace immensely, and you have to carry around this little light orb that's illuminating the way for me.
You're going into the dark?
No, it's not about that. It's about walking on walls and ceilings.
Do you have that power from the orb?
From holding the orb. As soon as I let go of it.
Danger.
I forgot how to let go of this thing. There we go. Yeah, as soon as I let go of it, gravity goes back to normal.
Oh, weird.
And when you're on the ceiling, your controls are inverted because you're pressing...
Oh, really?
Yeah, you're pressing left or right to get on the ceiling, but then you're going the opposite direction from where you're pressing, but you have to continue pressing that direction.
Oh, I'm glad you're playing and I'm not.
So it's really fucking annoying.
It looks like your jumps don't have the same...
No, because you don't have double jump ability. Everything's like... It's like it nullifies all of your special abilities and you just turn into a basic platformer with weird inverted controls.
I hate when games do stuff like that. When it's like, here are all these awesome abilities that you've earned, Now play without them.
Yeah.
Let's see if you make it further than this on the next episode. How about that?
All right.
Bye, everybody. We're in like Winter Wonderland now.